Welcome to Duels of the Spellslingers. This is tournament number 4, round 1. My name is Nemesis. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see here. We're going to be doing the one and only Spellslingers tournament in the world.
Round 1. Fight!
Round 1, we have got Emp versus Maelaki. Emp is playing with the Angrath deck, and Maelaki is bringing us an Ashiok deck, so a couple of different approaches here. Maelaki gets first go, and so he's going to draft a card from his opponent's deck. He's going to take the two-headed Hellhound, pass it over to Emp. Emp has a couple of 2-cost and a couple of 1-cost creatures in his hand, and so he is going to draw the Zozu. We'll see if that comes into play later, but he's going to play the Shipwrecker to start us off here. So the Shipwrecker can do 2 damage even if it is blocked. Maelaki draws a Necrobot. So he's got a couple of bots in his hand. He's going to play the 2/1 bot, which allows him to draw a card. Pass it back over to Emp. Emp draws a Rage Runner, and the Rage Runner can have either haste or sneak. He's going to attack with his Shipwrecker, which automatically does 2 damage to the face of Maelaki. And then he is going to bring out his Counterfeiter. That gives it a +1/+0 pump, so the Counterfeiter is a 3/1 with sneak. Back over to Maelaki here. Maelaki is going to play the Stern Artificer, which gives his Millstone an extra boost, and then he plays that Hellhound. And the Hellhound is a 1/2, but it acts more like a 2/2 because it does double damage. Emp is going to attack with his Counterfeiter with sneak, so he's going to do 3 damage to the face, and then he draws the bottom card of Maelaki's deck. He is going to play his Rage Runner, and I think he's going to give it sneak, so for next turn he's going to have 4 damage to the face, unless something happens to that creature in the meantime. Back over to Maelaki here. Maelaki has 4 mana available. He's going to throw out his bot, which allows him to draw another card, and he decides not to swing through for any attacks. Emp has, again, his creature with sneak for 4 damage to the face, so he is going to swing through, do 4 to the face of Maelaki, who's sitting at 14 health. Emp is still sitting pretty up at 27, and then Emp plays his other creature with sneak, so that one gives him ability to swing through with sneak in the future too. Maelaki decides to mill his opponent for a couple of cards, and then he's going to go through with everything. So he's attacking with a possible 6 damage to the face of Emp here. Emp is going to block, and they're going to trade creatures, and then he's going to block the Artificer, and he still has that creature with 4 sneak ability here. Back over to Emp, who draws a Shipwrecker. Emp is going to, I suspect, attack first, but he's going to use his Flame Coil to do 4 damage. Maelaki can still block with his 2-headed Hellhound, but Emp ends up swinging through for 4 to the face and gets a Silent Strike, so he can give future creatures sneak. So he has now done damage to his opponent, and he has 3 mana left, and he has 3 1-cost mana cards in his hand. Or the Sword Cannoneer is a 2-cost, so I believe he can throw down a couple more cards at least here. Looks like he's just kind of thinking about what to do right now. He does have that Silent Strike, which allows him to give a creature +2/+0 and sneak, but he's not going to play that. He doesn't have enough mana for it right now, so he's going to throw out his Shipwrecker and his 2-headed Hellhound. So that one, again, deals 4 damage. Maelaki is going to throw out a couple of 0/3 blockers here, and then he is going to use his Gravedigger, dig up his Stern Artificer from the graveyard, and then he's going to mill Emp for a couple, but he really doesn't have a lot of nightmares working for him. Maelaki doesn't, using this Ashiok deck. Wants to get a few more nightmares out there, hopefully. Emp, his land goes off, which allows him to boost each of his creatures, +1/+0, and then he gives his Hellhound sneak. So the Hellhound is going to do double damage, and so that's going to be at least 10. Even though the Shipwrecker is blocked, he swings through for 10, +2 is 12 to the face of Maelaki, and Emp is able to take down round 1. So Emp bringing definitely a different approach with the Angrath deck, a little bit more of a burn deck that's a little bit quicker on the uptake than Maelakai's approach with the Ashiok deck. So we'll see how this plays out in round number 2 here. It was a good start for the Angrath deck there, coming in with the burn.
Round 2. Fight.
Round number 2, remember we're playing all low-cost mana creatures and cards this round. So in round 1 of this tournament number 4, we are playing all cards that cost less than 5 mana. So to start, Maelaki chooses a starting hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, nice mana curve there for Maelaki with his Ashiok. And then Angrath decides to go with all 1-cost cards here for Emp. So he's going to start off with a Goblin, a Shipwrecker, and Searing Chains. To start, I know here for Emp, I would probably be playing the Searing Chains, just to have the ability to do damage to the face, in the future, but I'm not sure what he's going to do. You could also go in with the Goblin and just swing right through for 2 to the face. And it looks like that's what he's going to choose to do. So Emp is going to swing 2 to the face of Maelaki, get us started here. So Maelaki hoping to develop a little bit more on the Ashiok deck, a little bit more of those nightmares in Emp's hand, and give him more to deal with, where he'll start to do some drain damage on him. He's going to start with a Scorpion. That one has the ability to give him a card that can help get rid of a creature in the end. Back over to Emp here. Emp drew a burn through, and he is going to burn through that Scorpion to allow him to do 2 more damage right to Maelakai's face. And then he's going to bring out a Shipwrecker again, and that's the guy that can swing through for 2 damage even if he's blocked, and that gets pumped up. Maelaki is going to attack with his Scorpion, and Emp is going to block, I believe, with that Goblin there. So they're going to trade, but then that gives Maelaki the Fatal Infection, which he can play on a future creature. Maelaki is going to bring out the Stern Artificer, which boosts one of his artifacts, so he boosts that Millstone in his hand. Back over to Emp. And Emp is going to do it again. He's going to burn through, do 1 damage to that card, and then swing through for 3 to the face. And now he brings out his Searing Chains. Back over to Maelaki, who's definitely in better hand position at this point, with 6 cards in hand, whereas Emp only has 1 card in hand. Maelaki has 16 life, whereas Emp has 27. So he's definitely got less life. But he's going to bring out his Befuddling Merfolk, do 2 damage to that creature, and then they are going to trade. So he's going to trade even though he can't do any damage to the face with that Shipwrecker. And we are swinging back over to Emp here with his Angrath deck. He's taking a look at his cards. He's got 24 cards in hand, but only 1 Nightmare sitting on those 24 at this point in time. So again, Maelaki playing the Ashiok deck is going to want to do some Nightmare damage if he can. He draws a Goblin Shortcutter, and he's got the Flagrant Foul, so he's going to take out that 3/3 creature of Maelakai's, get rid of that, and then we're going to pass the turn back over to Maelaki, who's got 4 mana available to him. He is going to draw a card from the bottom of Emp's deck there, and then he's going to swing through for 3 to the face with that Rage Runner with haste. So he does 3 to Emp. Emp draws a Counterfeiter. He's going to do damage to Maelaki with the Searing Chains there, and then that boosts that Counterfeiter, which has Sneak. So that gives him the ability to swing through for 3 with Sneak damage. The Shadow Stag comes out for Maelaki, which turns all of his cards that didn't start in his hand a little bit cheaper, and then he is going to use that card to get rid of the Counterfeiter at the end of Emp's next turn. He swings through for 3 damage because Emp lets him through with that Rage Runner. And it's evening out a little here. Maelaki sitting at 15 life, Emp down at 20, or Emp down to 21 now. And then the Nightmare engages here. So Maelaki gains a life, but that Counterfeiter does swing through for 3. Counterfeiter's going to go away at the end of this turn, and then he plays a spawning fish creature, which doubles itself. And so he has two... I thought they would both end up being 1/3. For some reason on the screen it shows a 1/3 and a 0/3, but he has two chump blockers here. So regardless, Maelaki sitting with two creatures that he's likely going to attack with this coming turn. Maelaki with 13 health while Emp has 20. Maelaki going to throw down a millstone and mill his opponent, and then he's going to play a creature that can allow him to increase his nightmares. And he does. He swings through and attacks with both. Emp is going to trade for one of them, and then the other is just going to chump block, prevent him from taking any damage to the face. And Maelaki is going to turn it back over here to Emp. Again, Maelaki sitting with card position. He's got 4 cards in hand. And Emp has 2, now 3. And he delivers 4 damage to Malachi's creature. Gets rid of him, but Maelaki is still going to attack for 4 to the face here. And then he is able to use his millstone, and another nightmare engages there. So the nightmare is starting to work a little bit for Maelaki. And he brings out a 6/6 creature, gives his other crab unable to attack, and then swings through for 4 to the face of Emp here. So Maelaki is sitting in pretty good board position, and he's got an arcane flight available to him too, so he can give a creature flying. His nightmare engages again, so Maelaki up to 15 health. Emp is going to bring him down, so they're tied at 14. Emp brings out his 2-headed Hellhound and his Goblin Shortcutter, which can stop an enemy from blocking, which won't have any effect this turn. And we're back over to Maelaki, who's got 7 mana available, so he could play every card in his hand this turn. He mills his opponent for 2. No nightmares engage on that one, but he does throw down another millstone, and he is going to attack 6 in the air, plus another 5 on the ground. So Emp's going to block both of the creatures coming in on the ground, you have to imagine. And they are all they're going to trade anyways. He does a nightmare, gets another nightmare to engage here. And then they're going to trade the 2-headed Hellhound for that stag, but he does 6 in the air, does Maelaki. So it's looking a lot more like this could be Malachi's game here. Maelaki has another nightmare engage, so he's sitting up at 16. Whereas Emp has 6 health, so he's going to need to get rid of that flying Runeshell King if he's going to have any chance here. Maelaki is going to give his creature Sneak, so he does 6 damage to the face. Sorry, that's Emp. But Emp sees that he can't block Malachi's 6/6 flyer, so he is going to concede round number 2. So we are sitting at 1 round each. Maelaki coming through with that Ashiok deck started to definitely engage more of those nightmares and do some of that damage to his opponent and gain life from that, and that worked really well for Maelaki in round number 2. Here we go into round number 3 in just a moment here. Again, they're bringing their low-cost decks, so these are all creature costs that are card costs that are less than 5. Round number 3 for entrance into the second round. This is a single elimination tournament here. So Maelaki starts off with a 1 cost and then a couple of spillovers, which mill both him and his opponent. Emp is going to start us off by playing his 2-headed Hellhound there. And then Maelaki is going to counter with his Runeshell Crab, which can block it. So Emp not going to attack this turn and didn't actually play anything, no 2-cost mana cards. Maelaki is going to make them both get milled for a couple of cards. At this point, there's no nightmares in Emp's hand, so that doesn't do anything as far as the nightmares go. But still a good mill strategy, and Emp is going to bring out that Drana the Queen, so that one gains life whenever it attacks. Maelaki is going to mill both opponents again, and then he's going to bring out his Neurobot here, which allows him to add a random blue card to his hand. And he gets an Arcana Flight, which could be good to help block that Drana in the future here. But at this point, Emp is still going to be able to do damage in the air. Oh, and he's going to boost it with Sneak. So that is a 4/3 now, which gains 4 life every time it does damage at this point. So it becomes a 4/7. Maelaki knows he needs to block that, so he's going to give Flight to his Runeshell Crab, which can block. Emp's land goes off, so each of his cards get a +1/+0. And then he's going to do burn through damage to the 2/1. And then he's going to flame foil the 3/3. So both of Maelaki's creatures are eliminated, and he does 5/9 to the face of Maelaki there. Well played, Emp. And so he's sitting with, 5 sneak damage. Maelaki's still looking for an answer for that flyer. He has a potential answer in hand, but Emp sitting there with a couple of flagrant fouls. So he is going to flagrant foul that, and he is going to do, again, 9 more damage. Maelaki needs to come up with an answer to that Drana Queen flyer here. Does play and activates the Immolating Glare, so I suspect that will take out the flyer this coming turn. But still sitting with just 1 health is Maelaki, needing a couple of Nightmares to activate. I know he has played a few cards that weren't originally in his hand, so the flyer is taken care of at this point in time, so it isn't able to swing through for more. But Emp with a couple of options to give his creature Sneak. He comes out with the Rage Runner and the Counterfeiter, so he's able to swing through for 5 sneak damage. Maelaki sitting with just 1 life, so all Emp needs to do this upcoming turn is get 1 damage through to Maelaki's face, and he'll be able to take this first round of tournament number 4 and move on to the second round. Anything that can help Maelaki here, he's going to play 1, so he's able to get rid of 1, but he doesn't have the mana left to do the Flame Coil to get rid of that second creature, and so Emp is going to go through with all 3, but the 3 to the face is really what we're most concerned about here. Maelaki sitting with 1 health currently, so all Emp needs to do is get 1 through to the face. He's going to use his Flagrant Foul to destroy the 2-headed Hellhound, and then
finish him.
Boost his creature. Maelaki is going to block there. Oh, we have the 2, so he drains 2 from Emp, and then this one is going to mill his opponent for 1 as well. Any Nightmare damage on this one? No, so Emp's going to swing through for the 3 damage that he needs, and that is going to be round number 1 of this Duels of the Spellslingers. If you like what you've seen, definitely like and subscribe. My name is Nemesis. It is